Australian politics is so stupid. So are the people that vote for these people. Listen to them in the comments section. Read what they're saying. They have no fucking idea. There's one thing to go to war, and then there's another to kill unarmed people that are just working in the field. And then, to make it even worse, to then turn around and say you're going to support one person who's a VC hero, but you're going to ignore the 12 soldiers that came forward with the information. You cunts are dumb.
For a while, he was the model modern Anzac, the 6'7" SAS corporal awarded our highest military honour.
The descent of a war hero. Ben Robert Smith, Australia's most decorated soldier, tonight its most famous accused murderer. Arrested by federal police as he arrived at Sydney Airport from Brisbane at 11 this morning, dressed casually, appearing calm, compliant, as if this was a day he expected might come.
So the thing is, why has it taken over 10 years to make this arrest? We already know what the outcome of the civil case was. He lost. Secondly, why did they arrest him in front of everyone? Why? Because they wanted a show. That's what it is. They wanted to humiliate him in front of people. That's power, that's control. His family were there. They're all going on a holiday. It's school holidays. And we're coming up to Anzac Day. All of this was pre-planned and well thought of. You're a bunch of criminals yourself for doing that to a man who served our country.
After a 5-year investigation charged with 5 war crimes, 2 counts of murder and 3 of aiding and abetting another to murder. A life he says he devoted to defending his country could now become a life behind bars.
The offence of war crime murder carries a maximum penalty of life imprisonment.
The allegations during the war in Afghanistan between 2009 and 2012 involving Afghan civilians and prisoners who police will allege were not taking part in hostilities.
It will be alleged the victims were detained, unarmed, and were under the control of ADF members when they were killed.
The first in 2009 at Whiskey 108 compound, allegedly dragging an unarmed man with a prosthetic leg before shooting him. A rookie soldier ordered to kill a second prisoner as part of a blooding ritual. Then Darwan, September 2012, an unarmed handcuffed Afghan farmer, Ali Jan, allegedly kicked off a cliff by Robert Smith, then allegedly shot dead by another soldier. 1 month later in Siachow, allegedly killing one Afghan man while directing the murder of another in a so-called blooding.
Now this part here, take a listen.
These war crimes allegations are extremely complex matters to investigate.
The Office of the Special Investigator working with the AFP, a 5-year investigation following the revelations of Justice Paul Brereton's Commission of Inquiry, which found evidence of Australian forces' involvement in 39 murders. Investigating dozens of murders in a former war zone, 9,000 kilometres from Australia, in a country now again under Taliban rule, challenging.
We don't have access to the crime scenes. We don't have photographs, site plans, measurements, the recovery of projectiles.
To say the least.
What he's actually telling you is that the criminal case isn't going to go far, because what he's trying to tell you, there's no evidence collected. So if there's no evidence collected, they're then relying on the 12, 20 people that were there, which are the soldiers, as evidence. Now, depending on how good their evidence is, and if they've got body cams, it's a different story. But if it's word, it's going to be his word against his word. Simple. But I reckon he'll probably get off on it. Why? Because they didn't collect the evidence. That's why it's taken 10 years to close this case.
Robert Smith sued 9 newspapers for defamation in 2019, losing. Justice Anthony Pasanko finding on the lesser civil standard of evidence, Ben Robert Smith was a war criminal. He has always maintained his innocence.
The initial investigations have started 10 years ago. The report was handed down 6 years ago.
Ben Robert Smith is only the second Australian soldier to be charged with a war crime. Former Special Forces trooper Oliver Schultz is currently awaiting trial, accused of murdering an Afghan villager in 2012. War crime charges rare too for other Allied forces. 7 American soldiers have been convicted of war crimes in Afghanistan, while a British Marine was jailed over the death of an unarmed Afghan fighter.
Isn't it astonishing that we can go after the average person, even the people that we send overseas to fight on behalf of Australia? Well, it's not really fighting on behalf of Australia. We're invading other people's countries. Secondly, how about we arrest politicians in this country for stealing off the Australian public, stealing our taxes, sending them overseas, putting money into your own pockets while Australians are living on the streets? So how about we charge those judges, those politicians, for sexual offences against children and crime against Australian taxpayers? How about we start there? And how about the news get onto that one pretty quickly?